crack myself up. I still haven't found my first Blanton's.
That's different. I really like that.
They're like together, like peas and carrots.
That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things. Peychaud's or Peychaud's or Peychaud.
This is not what I expected.
All right, hello, it's Monday. And I won't give you the details about why we're a couple of minutes late, nor what's going on with my technology. But suffice it to say, it hasn't been the smoothest of starts here, but we're going to get underway. We're going to do this Knob Creek. One of the things that I discovered is that my printer is not working, so I have to actually read everything I was going to say off my computer screen, so that'll be fun. Can I make it bigger? Because, you know, zoom in. Yeah, that helps. All right. So, it's about time. This is my least favorite part of Knob Creek. I hate this wax crap. I don't like it on anything. I didn't like it on the Johnny Drum. I don't like it on the Makers. I don't like it on anything. But that came off pretty easily. I'm not going to complain. All right. So I can't believe it took me this long to do Knob Creek. This is one of those bottles that you generally see on the shelves all the time. So, you know, you don't even think about reviewing them because they're on the shelves most of the time, and you just, you know, it is what it is, and you got plenty of time, and if somebody's already had it. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Somebody's already had it, so, you know, what are you trying to teach, right? Well, this one you're going to see on the shelves a little less. It's now coming up as allocated. Generally, most of the stores are going to have a slip on there that says buy one per customer. I don't know why all of a sudden it's finding itself a little bit more rare, but Knob Creek isn't just out there like it used to be. The quantity on the shelves is diminishing for some reason. I don't know why that is. Knob Creek itself has a lot of brands. It's this one. It's a 9-year. It's 100 proof. It's got a smoked maple. It's got a 7-year rye, which is also 100 proof. Single barrel reserve at 120 proof. Single barrel select at 120 proof. Single barrel select rye at 115 proof. The 100 proof 12-year. If you haven't had the 12-year, the blue label, you are missing out. Let's see, they've got a 15-year, a limited edition 18-year, and probably more that I'm missing. I've never had one I didn't enjoy. I love Knob Creek. I remember when I first had Knob Creek, I was thinking to myself, wow, that's spicy. But as I've gotten into it, as I've started to enjoy it, you know, I like it. This is one I've had before, but I've just never reviewed it in its time. This is one of the brands in Jim Beam's small batch collection, which includes Basil Hayden, Bakers, and Booker's. And for me, this sits in between the Basil Hayden and the Bakers, which Booker's is kind of being the head honcho on all that. From its initial release in 1992, hey Lorena, from its initial release in 1992 up to 2016, Knob Creek carried the 9-year age statement, but in 2016, Beam removed the age statement, saying that they could not guarantee that all barrels would be aged to 9 years due to inventory issues. In 2020, the 9-year age statement once again returned to the small batch bottle. So that tells you how old this one is. It's prior to 2020, and this is the 9-year. It's 100 proof. It's the same thing. It's just a different label. So, and I've never opened this one, as you can tell, because this little thing is still here. Oh, it's broken, though. All right. So, the mash bill on this, I have been absolutely incorrect when I've been describing this to people. I have been describing this as a high rye, and it is not. The mash bill on this is 75% corn, 13% rye, and 12% malted barley. It had me fooled. I thought it was a high rye. I thought it was at least 18%. I was wrong. How do you like that? All right, what are we missing? Aaron's here. Spencer's here. Hey, Spencer. Lorena, Bill's here. Chris is watching. Hey, Chris, how are you? All right. Let's get our taste on, shall we? I've already got it poured. I had a 3-day weekend. My gosh, that was nice. Oh, Saturday was so beautiful. It wasn't hot. It wasn't humid. I sat out on the porch all afternoon. No, I didn't drink bourbon till the evening when I started a fire, but I sat out there all day. Watched the squirrels run, watched them drop hickory nuts on my head. That was fun. Birds chirping, all sorts. It was just wonderful. Hey, ahoy, Jordan. How are you? It was just a wonderful day. And then Sunday we went and shot a little 3D archery. Jordan, I would say we thought of you, but we didn't. But we had fun. Went and did that, and then did a little fishing last night. I didn't catch anything. I got skunked completely. I had lots of bites. I didn't bring anything in. All right. Knob Creek 9-year 100 proof. Very nice nose. A little on the fruity side. I'd say plum right off. Rude. You weren't there. And you didn't come for a drink either when you were in town last, so That's rude, because you said you would. And I've got all this booze. All this booze. All right, so the nose on this is got a really nice fruit note. I like that. That corn's coming through. Sweet. Cinnamon's really nice honey note. And I don't get honey on everything, but I am on this. Yeah, that's nice. Maybe, excuse me, just a little bit of maple. There's smoked maple. If you're in the mood for dessert, is quite good. Very, very sweet, but it's quite good. Had that for Thanksgiving a couple of years ago, and it was a gift, and I was very appreciative, and I liked it. Like I said, there hasn't been anything Knob Creek I haven't liked. That one's very sweet, so if there's one that I didn't like the most, it would be that one, but I still liked it. All right, see what else I can get as it continues to open up. There's some orange on it, just a little bit. The fruit notes do settle down as you let it sit. All right, here we go, down the hatch. It has been a while since I've had Knob Creek. And it's presenting itself as a lot more timid than I remembered. Now, the last time I had it, well, I was still kind of early in my journey, as we like to put it. I see it online all the time, bourbon journey. I know I didn't start that, but it's fun. All right, so this does not drink nearly as hot or spicy as I remember. So shame on me for not returning to this bottle a lot sooner. This is very nice, though. Okay. Now let's give you some flavors. The bloom on this, it's 100 proof, and maybe I'm just getting to the point where I'm a high proof hound. I don't know. But to me, the bloom didn't do a whole lot of anything, so I'm going to revisit that first before I try to give you any flavors. Roof of my mouth, and on that one a little bit of the swallow. And that, I'm going to go back to what I said a minute ago, that it has a little bit in common with Basil Hayden. It kind of sits in between Basil Hayden and Baker's. Baker's is a really nice, robust pour. Basil Hayden is weak. I don't like Basil Hayden. The flavors are okay if you can find them, but it's pretty well non-existent on the front of your palate, and then it finally gets you when you swallow it. So I'm not a fan of Basil Hayden. This one sits in between, so I'm getting some really nice robust notes on the palate and on the sides of my tongue and things like that, but it does have that little kicker on the way down too. So very, very smooth for 100 proof. If I didn't know this was 100 proof, I would say there's no way this is 100 proof. It's very, very smooth. It's got a really nice, a nice palate. Let's get back into it here, see if I can give you some actual flavors now. Really nice, viscous mouthfeel. Very nice. So right off, the thing I got on the palate was honey. Really nice honey profile. Some nice cinnamons, darker cinnamon. It's not sweet cinnamon. The sweetness is in the honey note, but the cinnamon is a little on the darker side. You might even say there's a little bit of like a fruit note, like dates, on the palate. Let's see if I'm missing anything. Chris, you got skunk too. Jordan, I need a 3-day for sure. I'm burnt out. I've been missing some stuff. I'm sorry. I was burnt out too. The last 2 weeks have been absolutely intense for me, and having 3 days off has been an absolute prayer answered. I'll tell you what. I needed it. I feel great. I'm ready to go back tomorrow. It's going to be good. Jordan tried for some crappie, but I'd have been happy with some bluegill. Your cousin caught a couple of bluegill and a really nice largemouth bass. I got skunked completely. But I was using plastics and he was using worms, so I guess they weren't hungry for plastic last night. You got skunked yourself. Sunday fishing, Chris. Had very few bites. They pulled the bobber under a couple times and I got excited, but I think they must have been small because I'd give it a little yank there and then they'd be gone. So they were probably small bluegill. And they ended up taking one of my plastics. And they took your cousin's plastic too. Big fan of the 9-year, been looking for the 12, heard good things. The 12, Chris, is very, very good. I actually like it better than the 15. I haven't had the 18. I have the 15, I have the 12. The 12 is better than the 15 to me. Really, really nice. Blue label, the 15, brown or orange, or I'm colorblind, so I'm going to somewhere in between there. If you can find those, the 12 is fantastic. All right, so getting back into this, let's pour a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I dribbled. Alcohol abuse. All right. Then we'll do water and ice. Sounds like a Pat Benatar song. Hers was Fire and Ice, remember? No, you don't remember because you're not old enough. All right. For me, that's very honey forward. Very nice. I like this. That rye spice is just there, just enough to keep it from fading away like the Basil Hayden does. And it's a higher proof. Basil Hayden's 80 proof. It's an overpriced pour for 80 proof too, by the way. But it flies off the shelves. People love Basil Hayden. Okay. All right. Drink what you like. I don't like it. I mean, it's okay. I did a Bourbcast a while back with Basil Hayden, and I did that in the toast. And they're okay for what they are. I think they're overpriced for 80 proof. And again, I like to taste it on my palate, not in my throat, but it's okay. I don't hate it. There's other pours I hate. Basil Hayden I don't hate. I just don't prefer it. This one definitely gives me a lot more to the palate and to the flavor profile than Basil Hayden does. Even though at 100 proof it's not hitting very hard, which is okay. Just, you got to be careful. Because if it's not going to hit you very hard right between the eyes, and you're going to know, later on, yeah, you had 100 proof and, right? Have a couple and then don't drive. All right. So it's 13% rye. And that's a really nice balance for this. If it had been more, if I'd had more rice spice out of that, I would have been thinking I was drinking the Bakers or even the Bookers. I think it really fits well in the mash bill. They've got a really nice blend going on here. That it's not too much of anything. The corn, 75% corn. I'm getting that sweetness. That's probably where the honey is coming from. But it's not overly rye. So I stand corrected. I thought this was a higher rye. It came from a experience from when I first tried it a long time ago. used to drink this quite often. I can't believe it's probably been 2 years since I've had a Knob Creek. Golly. All right, let's put it on water. I can get rid of my script now. I can bring up what we're doing next, because I don't remember. Because I didn't look. Because I ran out of time. There we go. Jeff is watching. Hey, Titch. Basil Hayden sucks. Well, okay. There's no mincing words, are there? All right. Well, that didn't come up yet. All right, so with a little bit of water, let's see what it does. All right. Sometimes you just got to put on the eyeballs. A little more honey on the nose now. That citrus is still there. Very nice. All right. Okay, a little bit of water brought a really nice viscosity to it. Added to the mouthfeel for sure. A little more silky yet. It actually brought out more of that rye spice too. It's just a little bit more, it's a little more spicy than it was before. Not a lot, but a little. Of course, I brought down the proof when I added water to it, but it did open up that spice segment. Why isn't this opening? Goodness gracious. My poor computer. I need a new computer so bad. That thing is so slow and loud and doing everything it can just to keep up. Poor guy. Poor little guy. All right. I got a little cherry on that one. That tells me it's got a little bit more complexity than I was willing to give it before. If I'm getting different notes after adding water and letting it swim around a little bit, that's good. I can appreciate that. All right. Matter of fact, I'm getting more black cherry on it the more we go along and the less citrus. So, that's kind of good. I like that note. That note is tart and sweet at the same time. That's a really cool note. I didn't get that before. I wonder if I were to go back to it neat. I'm not going to do it now. But I wonder if I were to go back to it neat if I would get that black cherry note now. Because I'm definitely getting it now. That's kind of cool. Still getting the honey. But the black cherry on the finish particularly. Really leaping out. Nice. All right. What's obvious, this is just not going to come up. So we may have to look at it on the phone. All right. So I just left it in the mold, the ice sphere, because I know it's safe in there, and I know it's not going to collect any residue. So I just left it in there. Come on out of there. And give it a little shine. Just love it. Love it, makes me happy. And now I need to make more ice. But that's okay. I don't mind it. I like doing it. All right. That's plenty. That was close. That cork is really swollen for whatever reason. All right. I have to do this the other way because I cannot see on the computer what my next Bourbcast is, and I want to tell you what it is. Oh, come on. Oh, it finally came up on the computer. All right, so let's see where we are. So this is the 21st. Knob Creek. So according to this, I had the next Bourbcast as an International Whiskey Day. And I don't think it's actually International Whiskey Day. I think I found a calendar that's incorrect. But I'm going to honor it just in case it is. According to this, I've got International Whiskey Day coming up next week, the end of August. So I've got one over here that I'm going to do. I told myself I wasn't going to open it because it's the only one I got. But I think we're going to open up the Caribou Crossing. Again, it's International Whiskey Day, maybe. I cannot guarantee that it's actually International Whiskey Day, but I've got it listed there as such. So, okay, we're going to open up the Caribou Crossing next week, and then we're going to start a whole new series based on some bottles that I collected a while ago. But we're going to start a new series, and I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet, but that's coming up. So that'll be fun. All right. Okay. So, finger stir. All right, I was worried about that because at the 100 proof, I was thinking that it wasn't going to give me enough jazz, so to speak, but it holds up on ice. That's really nice. That's a nice surprise. I've had some full proofers that didn't hold up on ice. Paul was with me when we did the 1792 full proof. Fell apart, and that was a pick. That was a store pick, and it fell apart on ice. We were both very disappointed. This holds up, or not this. This holds up very nicely on ice. So if you wanted to use it in a cocktail, you very much could. It's not going to fall apart on you. Very nice. I'm actually surprised at how well that held up on ice. That may be among those that have held up the best on ice. Now, there's been some that actually got better on ice over the. I mean, I can't tell you which ones. You'd have to go back and watch. But for my money, this one is one of them that held up the best. Really a nice surprise, considering how underwhelmed I was at the very start. It's 100 proof. It's a 9-year. For crying out loud, it's a 9-year. When they made it this way, there's no 9 statement. They couldn't guarantee it. Now they're back to it. They're guaranteeing 9 now. Let's see what happens because it's harder to find. One store in town doesn't have it on the shelf at all. Another store I visited today has 2. And they have a sign on there that says buy one only. It's allocated now. Like 1792 is allocated now. It doesn't make any sense for those to be allocated. They're on the shelf all the time. But right now, and Kentucky Tavern is another one. Buy one only. You can get one. It's the cheapest pour in the store. But I think people found out about it. It's a cheap pour, but it's a good pour for the money that you're spending on it. It's pretty good for what it is. But that's allocated too. So I'd like for OHLQ to provide us with a list of what is allocated and why. Is it a mere numbers game? Is it they're not getting enough? They can't put enough on the shelf? I would like to know that. And I have not been able to find a good chart. I found a chart out of state that has their allocated list. But the OHLQ allocated list, I think, is going to be a little bit different because 1792 wasn't on the one that I found, and neither was Knob Creek. And I know that these are both allocated now. Buy one per customer. They're not on the shelves. So, at least not very much. I mean, some places you'll be able to find it, but some places you won't. It's in limited supply. So, Knob Creek 9, if you get a chance to find it and buy it. It's a really nice pour. It's not up to the level of a Baker's. But it's not down to the level of a Basil Hayden either. It's a very nice in between 100 proof pour. It's tasty and it holds up on ice. gives you different notes as you play with it a little bit, so it has enough complexity to give you that. So the Knob Creek 9 is one that I could be very happy that is in my arsenal. Will I drink more of this tonight? I don't have anywhere to go. I'm going to have a little bit more of that. That's what I'm going to do. All right, everybody. So we'll see you next Monday as we pretend that it's International Whiskey Day again, and we're going to do the Caribou Crossing. This is one that people have been bragging to me about. Oh, I got a Caribou Crossing. Ah. Well, so do I. The difference between you and me, I'm going to open mine, and I'm going to taste it for you right here next week on Beautiful Bourbon. With that being said, you guys have a fantastic what's left of your day and your week, and we will see you in a week right here